Bearcats fans, it's Neil Meyer with the Front Office News. I'm here with senior wide receiver Tre Tucker. Tre, talk about the atmosphere. What's it like to be back now after practice number 10 for spring ball? Just talk about the atmosphere here at Nipper and in the locker room.
Well, I know every time we come out at the Nip, it's always, electric because, we've been undefeated here the past 4 years. So anytime we come out here, it's a little more intensity just because of the stakes that we hold. Obviously we haven't lost here. So I think anytime we're out here, everyone's more juiced up. It's the outside atmosphere. There's people allowed to watch, and just Nip just holds, heavy weight. So, it's always fun to be out here.
Awesome. Seeing Alec take his next step to the NFL, having him still on campus, what advice has he been able to give to you taking on that leadership role in the locker room?
Well, yeah, Alec's like my best friend, he's always been my best friend since I've been here. So, I'm very fortunate to have him. And yeah, basically, just leading in your own way, he wasn't that big of a vocal guy. And then, last year he kind of stepped it up because obviously he was a leader. He's basically just giving me those little pointers, just basically like be myself, but also whatever I do, just make sure I'm a leader for the group, whether that's, whether I'm showing them how to do a certain thing or whether being vocal. So I think, I've been challenging myself to be more vocal. And I've always been vocal, so it's not really like a bigger step. But, yeah, Alec's tremendous, man. Learning from him, being around him, it's just been a great help.
Awesome. We saw Nick Mardner transfer in. So far, what's your early expectations and your insight on Nick Mardner?
Well, like I said, Nick Mardner, he's very tall. Like, when you see you get a guy, and you're like, oh, he's 6'6" or whatever, you're like, okay, maybe he's like 6'4". But no, like, that dude is every inch of what he says he is. He's tall, he's long, he has good bend, he's a freak athlete. I really like Nick. He's a good guy, man, when he first came out, I didn't get to see him too much because he got here kind of later, but just watching him, like, and, Coach Brown's an excellent coach. So, like, Coach Brown getting his hands on him, and, like, when you guys see him in fall camp and then out the season, it's going to be completely different. He's already really, really good, so I'm just excited to see him progress. He's a great teammate.
You mentioned Coach Brown. Talk about what your relationship is like with him.
Yeah, so Coach Brown, man, that's my guy, man. Like I said, I owe him everything, just because his development in me now and continuing, he's a great leader. He's a reflection of our room. Obviously, I'm the leader of the room, but he's a bigger reflection. Like, he's always on me. He cares about the little things. That's what I really like about him, man. It's easy to just brush those things away. But we have a saying here: the way you do all things is the way you do little things, or the way you do little things, the way you do all things. Whatever, it's something like that. But yeah, he's just great. Very competitive. He sets the standard in our rooms. He's like, as far as technique standpoints, he's on point with everything. He's played in the NFL. He's a younger guy, and everything about him is just great. So I'm very fortunate for him as well.
Awesome. We see you rocking the number 1 jersey. We've seen James Wiggins transferred to that number in 2020. Sauce took that number last year. What's that tradition like with the new number 1? Is that something Coach Fickle is doing, or is that something this team has?
Listen, all I know is those people who wore number 1 are great players. And hopefully whenever I'm out of here, my name falls into that line. So, yeah, I've always worn 1 in high school. I've always wanted number 1. And, this year just seemed right. I'm a senior or whatever, all these COVID years and all that. But, so I hope my name goes down with those 2 guys, because those are obviously great players who are in our program and are doing great things or going to do great things in the NFL.
Awesome. My last question is for you. Heading into the 2022 season, what is your expectations and what should this team be most excited for?
Okay, my expectations were obviously being the best leader and the best player I can for this team. That's just my biggest thing. All the stats and all that stuff will come. But if I'm not the best leader for my group, for this team, none of those things really matter. So just make sure I'm the best leader for my group, for my team. Whatever quarterback's out there making them look good, whether it's Evan or Ben, they're doing a great job. And I can't wait to see them continue to compete. And what I think people should be most excited for is, I think people get the sense of, we lost some really, really great players, but there's also a lot of players coming back, and there's a lot of players in this nucleus that are still here. And, when you got guys like Ahmad, Kobe, you got guys who are going against them, and you got the 2 best cornerbacks in the country that are getting reps against them, and they're bettering their game. So then when they go out and play other people, it shows up. So I think it's just going to be a really good year for us again. And obviously I'm on the offensive side, and I'm just excited because I think we can score a lot of points. So that's what I think you guys should be really excited about.
Awesome. Well, that's all I have for you, Tre. So thank you for taking your time today.
Appreciate it. Yeah.